What do you got, Gottman? What do you have? Best kallus in the world. I suppose that will. So what should we learn today? Maybe like Bahav Kehilchasa. What is that? The Halachos, all right. So that's all right. The Halachos of Yom Kippur Cotton. Best kallus in the world, huh? Best kallus in the world. Hey, they all turned off their TV. Best kallus in the world. Okay. So we have like this. We have a big agenda. Best kallus in the world. Get your iced coffee. No games, Rabbi Rosenberg. Why is he not drinking his iced coffee? What's going on? Take an iced coffee. Huh? He doesn't have one. What's going on? Huh? Make sure not does it. All right, Rabbi Yisai. Let's get to work. I bedafka, as you see here, there's no notes. First time I think I ever walked into this room without notes on purpose. Maybe one time. But, first time, no notes. No. The reason is that I feel there's more tayalus in. I mean, look, last year we went through the whole chelakei. I think there's more tayalus in trying to focus on, for those that are making Pesach for the first time and whatnot, and what exactly we're supposed to do. So I did ask for shilas from the Olam, and I see that some did respond with shilas. I'm gonna. There's all the different, all the different lists. A lot of them are very good, and so let's try to just get clear what we have to do. I want your help in questions, and meaning, what about this? What about this? And that way, I know what to focus on, because everyone here knows which issues he has, and I mean, most of you guys don't know which issues you have, but everybody, I know what issues you have, right? But your wives know for sure what issues you have, and Mela, we should want to base on that. What should be the halachas that we focus on? Where do we start? Let's go. No, where do they start? Selling chametz. Okay, let's start like that. So first of all, the halacha is that you're allowed to sell chametz. It's a long-standing minhag Yisrael, and Maisa, even chametz gomer, is something that's been done for many, many years. What you'll find in Eretz Yisrael is that many people do not sell chametz gomer. It's not. I can't say it's the minhag Eretz Yisrael. There certainly is a large percentage of the population that does not sell chametz gomer. I would say that if a person, this is what I was doing all the years, if a person has, what does he have, Sachakol? He has $100 worth of cookies and crackers and kariyot. So eat it between now and Pesach. And what's it worth saving? Now, if a person is going to come and say, but he has, $5,000 or $6,000 worth of whiskey or something, so then I think he has to get a different hobby anyways, right? But in general, obviously, it's allowed. It's allowed to sell chametz gomer, and therefore we're saying on the mechira and chalila to be mefakfik on the mechira. But the ma'aser no chalz, it's no less than any of the chumras de Pesach. If a Rav gets up and says it's no problem, it's a mitzvah l'chatchila to sell chametz. It's a mitzvah l'chatchila to do a lot of things we don't do on Pesach. So it's no different than any of the chumras de chametz that we do. And therefore, if a person can get out of it and not sell chametz, why should he sell chametz? But if he doesn't have to, that if he has no bread, he must sell the chametz. So some people it's a big loss. Some but for when I have the bachram that ask me to have 8 shekel worth of a broken cracker that he took from a kiddush that the crackers were left over. So then mistama. It's kedai to sell, kedai to not sell the chametz. It's kedai not sell the chametz. That's the chayv. The guy is selling it with me. So Mitzvah, I don't have my shtaris yet. Anybody who wants to sell it can be. By next week, I should have the shtaris. This year, it's a different shtaris. It's not like, just recycled from the last 13 years, right? And 13 years ago, I was not Rabbi Kallus. I'm still Shragi Kallus, but I was not Rav Kallus from Eretz Yisrael. So I wasn't selling, so I don't have shtaris from 13 years ago. And therefore, but this year, first of all, there are some people that want to sell in general early, because whatever you sell earlier, there are many shittas that are old, you don't have to be baitik it at all. So for example, this year it's not called the Mechir Sid Gimel, it's called the Mechir Sid Beis, which means that by Thursday night, when the B'dikas Chametz this year is on Thursday night, with a bracha, with the 10 pieces, with alts, that's Thursday Kivyochel afternoon, whatever that is, that's already Yud Beis, right? So then there are those that want their chametz sold by Shkia on, Yud Gimel, Yud Beis, right at the juncture there, so that those makaimis, they don't have to check. The truth is that that's what I would suggest to some people also. You have closets, you just don't want to deal with it. So, you know that area is done and whatever, and you could sell it Mechiras Yud Beis. But that's why I have to change my shtaris this year. Obviously, the Minig Yisrael is to do Yud Gimel, a regular Mechira, and to be Baidik. I'm just saying for whoever wants it. That's why I don't have my shtaris. Whoever wants can be in touch with me. What? So Legabi going into places that are sold, you're allowed to go in if you forgot something, but it can't be a hefkervel. That's the whole idea. And once it's sold, it's sold. It's not yours anymore. That's it. What? You could do that. You can sell under your bed. Let's say you want to sell just under your bed or something. Let's say you want to sell, sometimes people want to sell the bed next to them. Everybody has their own things and whatever. I'm in a shtickle good mood today. Derech Hagaf. But so what I do is like this. Should I tell you my suggestion to people? Today I want to be very practical. What I do, just simply without going intending to learn this, what I do is I make a list. I mean, I'm the guy that sells it, but let's say I do it even for myself. I sell it also, right? I'm not buying your chametz, Rabbi say. I am not a goy. I am not a guy, and I don't want to own your chametz. I'm not a guy, and I don't want to own your chametz. I happen to, my love me is I happen to have friends that are goyim, right? And I sell it to them. You guys don't know goyim, so the mail you come to me. I also know how to make kinyana. Okay, but I'll come on him. So tachlis geret, what I do is I'll, instead of, it gets so complicated. I have to come to the Rav and I have to write down this place and that place. And then the guy calls me back. I forgot about this and I forgot about that. And I can't find my wife and right, all the things that go on, right? I tell him, all you write down on my shtar is this. Every place, kol makom shemesuman, any place that is labeled machur, lagoi, that's what I'm selling by Yud Beis, by Yud Gimel, which gives me the option if I go to the Rav on Yud Aleph, on Yud, on Tes, on whatever, I write the shtar, anything that will be marked off Machur Lagoi by Yud Beis, that's what I'm selling, which means Thursday afternoon, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking pieces of masking tape right on that Machur Lagoi, that's what the kids are already probably busy doing now, and I'll put it on that closet and that closet and that closet, and all of those closets are now sold to the Goy by the time that Yud Beis comes in. Sorry, does everyone understand what I said? It's made very practical and saves you a lot of grief. I saved the Rav a lot of grief in Agri Selfish because the guy keeps calling back. I forgot to write this. I forgot to write that. You're not gonna. There's nothing to forget. All you do is any place that is misuman machor lagoy. That's what I'm selling. Sorry. Oh, so if you forgot, you can't sell it afterward, right? Well, don't forget, don't forget. If the shtar says, look, the shtars anyways basically sell any chametz that you have ever come into contact with, right? It says on it any place, in every way, in every which way, which is a big shot out. We do b'dikas chametz because it says everything in the world is sold. Okay, I'm just saying, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, that's a gabi machir. Stam, even if you don't sell chametz gomer, but you want to know. So first of all, obviously kidneys you don't really need to sell, but we just put it with the selling stuff. That for sure you don't have to dispose of. You have rice and whatever, you just put it with the selling stuff. You have things sometimes that are like, they're not kosher Pesach, but you don't know if they have chametz. Well, sometimes you just don't know, but let's say ketchup might be taroivis chametz. Ketchup is actually a bad example. Ketchup dafka could be taroivis. But I'm saying coffee, I don't know what, it doesn't have a kosher Pesach on it, whatever. So obviously those things you could sell. Some things you have to ask, right? Flour, for example, interestingly enough, flour is not chametz, ironically. It's a suffix chametz. And therefore, flour, now I'm only saying this, we have one bag of flour, but I say, don't be saimich on the kula, I'm saying. The reason I'm saying this, sometimes people have specially sifted flours and zachin, special, pre-sifted and gluten, well, gluten-free might not be flour, but I mean, no, sometimes he has spelt and he has mildew, flour, all types of interesting, weird flours that cost a lot of money and he doesn't want to get rid of them. So for sure, he can falazach of them, klape the mechira, when in the first place they're probably not chametz anyways. That's his lechayr. Okay, that's legabe selling chametz. What's next? What? Come again? What? The places that if you sold by Yud Beis that you need not check. If you did a mechiras Yud Gimel, it's called this year it's called the Yud Beis because it's Yud Beis at the end of the day, so it's called the mechiras Yud Beis. That means anything that night. Yud Gimel is when I'm doing the b'dikas chametz. So I don't have to check the places that I sold. Sorry. Look, are you selling chametz gomer? No. if you're not selling chametz gomer, just put a tape there. It's just, it's not a place we go in. If you're selling chametz gomer, it's a little bit of a different story. You have to tape it properly and make sure no one can go. But I use those stickers that I put. But the truth is, if you're not selling chametz gomer, what are we selling? We're selling like our plates and our this and our that and whatever. The nicer. There's no benenu. We'll keep this between us. You don't really need to sell your plates at all. If your plates are clean, then you don't need to sell them. Right? But that's what we do. You just that closet is mucker, that closet is mucker. Part of the reason we do it is we don't really want to have to, think about it and do a b'dikas chametz on the night of b'dikas chametz. Everyone in this room is going to clean it. Right? Anyways, it's good to clean it once a year. As this one moment. And Maisa, do you have to tape it closed that it can't be open? If you're not really selling chametz, then probably not. It's only on the things that are real chametz that you have to. Sorry. So listen. There is a chumrah of, we'll call it the Arizal, basically the Minig Yisrael, it's borrowed the Minig Yisrael, is to try to do whatever you can to get rid of all of chametz, right? So there's no shaila that the normal thing to do is you don't have to spend hours cleaning out a closet that you're selling, right? You take a spritz, let's say you have a closet that has the plates and the forks and the knives and the things, whatever, that you're obviously not using on Pesach, they're kosher, they're pasul of Pesach, they're chametz or whatever. So what do? I don't know if you have to wash every dish because you're a normal person, it's not a bacher dira. You didn't, you put it into the closet, it's clean, right? So you go in, you spritz it one time, you wipe it around. There might be a dot in there. First of all, that dot was now touched by a household cleaner. So it's not a kazayas, and it has been touched by a household cleaner. So therefore, you're no longer over on Bal Yirah anyways because you're doing bittul. Elamai Shema Yavel Yoichle. So the Mishnah says in about 3 different places that there's no Shema Yavel Yoichle on a under kazayas metunef ksas. So that's my suggestion. Is that's what you do. You spritz around one time. It's not something that you take time. Where you're going to be actually eating and things like that, the fridge, that's where you focus more. You have a mixer. You have the challah maker. What's it called? The bash. What's it called? The thing with the challah, whatever. The kneader. I don't know, whatever it's called, the mixer. So how are you going to clean it? It's got so you take a household cleaner, you spritz it one time, you wipe it around. Whatever piece is in there is anyways now pugim. And whatever, again, if you want to get the chumash and chametz, okay, I'm just telling you this is what's halacha. And then you're putting it with the stuff that you're selling anyways, and it's Beseder Gomer. Okay, that's how you do it. Mashain came once you get to the places like fridges and places you're going to eat. So then you have to focus more on everybody. I'm not going to tell you how to clean a fridge, and that's it. Because there you don't say, the dot and it's pugim, because there the Indian is not Bal Yirah, it's not ownership. There the Indian is what? Is it might go into my food, and that's even worse than Gebrocks if you could believe there is such a thing, right? If you could believe, if you could. Sorry. No, so it's a big story. It's not a gay here. That's not a kash here. It's under kazayas. Right now we're under kazayas, and that's it. But the Mishnah goes with the mahalach that it's davuk, only things that are sticky and things like that. That's why you can ask a kash on the mixer, but on the mixer it's anyways not a kazayas. Nobody has a kazayas in there. It's not. Sorry. Let's go. We're going in order. It's a sham. Saying that's a whole different topic, right? What? It has to do with mechira or not? What? Not mechira. No. So that's that kind of mechira. It's not mechira. Sorry. Wait, Rabbi said one thing. We have 65 simanim to do today, right? And I'm probably going to leave here at about 9, right? So that we got to hold off a little bit to a certain extent. Topics. The idea is to focus. But we mentioned. We said that you're allowed to go in. You're allowed to go in, but it can't be a hefgevelt. If you forgot something, he's allowed. The guy understands that you might have forgotten, one of the children or things like that. That's normal, right? But then, other than that, it can't be a hefgevelt. Okay. Does is legabe selling chametz. Okay. Legabe, and that's also legabe cleaning. That means that if you have, your clothing and whatever, the Mishnah Berurah talks about. There's so many things that confused everybody over the diaries. Like the Mishnah Berurah is busy talking about pockets and whatever. Everyone's busy wondering, gets to check every pocket. It's very simple. Everybody say, you take your clothing, you put them in the washing machine, or you put them inside or a dry cleaning, and then that's it. Because now what could you have in there? I mean, I don't know who you are. Children could have like a whole wafer in there. That could be. And even in the washing machine, it won't come out. But again, To each their own. Everybody has to know that. So a child's clothing, you do have to check that maybe he has like a whole wafer in there. I don't know. You could have a whole thing. But what are you worried about? You're worried about like a crumb. And that crumb has now been touched by a regular household cleaner. It's been touched by a regular household cleaner. So it's now under kazayas. And it's betun of k'sas, so ownership is not a problem. However, and that's the same thing with toys. You take toys, you basically could throw them into, let's say you have the baby's toys, you put them into a bathtub and they're clean, and that's it. And now, would I want that toy on the table when I'm eating? Probably not. I can't swear that I did a good enough job that there might not be a crumb there. That crumb doesn't give me a problem of ownership of chametz, but that crumb gives me a problem if it goes into my soup. So my children know, let's say svarim. The men get one job and they don't do it, right? And they know every kula in the world. What's the job? Cleaning the svarim. Right away, he tells his wife, migu, right? That I could have been born a guy and I wouldn't have had svarim, right? And, so, and also it's not shayches. The svarim at the time the Gemara Bab Metzia talks about the svarim, they were rolled up. We have different svarim. Huh? What? Yeah, it's pasha. All right. Would you be matter and aguna with that one? Yeah. Okay. If it means I don't have to clean. Oh, the Kallus is giving a shiur. I'm going. You didn't clean this farm. No. You're not mechuyev to clean this farm. So Lemaisa, I know you guys. I know exactly what you do. You start cleaning the farm. I know all of you. Okay. You start cleaning the farm. Start looking at that. Start becoming a big masmid all of a sudden. Also reading every Haggadah. I know. Kallus knows well. Hey, Michtav Bracha, and you start reading it. He's mamish giving him a klala. You ever read some of them sometimes, right? I once read one. Erev Pesach. Michtav Bracha, and he's writing, Ein darki lo seis askamas. It's not my derech to give askamas, especially to a sefer on halacha, especially when I read it and I see there's a lot of things I don't agree with. Love. Sorry? I told the story. It's Samarov. I told him the Samarov. I couldn't believe it. Right? I couldn't find it. How we get into that? The Samarov. I don't believe him. The guy printed it because it says on it, Samarov. Right? Which Samarov? Okay. I go find it. So Tachlis Garet. So what's with Lamaisa with Svarim? It's okay. So you guys, if you have little kids and whatever, so then low shelves that the little Yengelach and Tzadekis and Lach and Meidlach that can reach. So a lot of it could be stuff in there. There's no shayla. Purim was just yesterday. There could be stuff in there. In the Sefer, it's rare that you'll have stuff in the Sefer that's a kazayis, that's not metunas k'sas. It's minanimna. Just a moment. While I'm in the middle of talking, nobody should ask because it ruins the train of thought. I'll stop at every juncture and then I'll let the item ask. But Akopanim, it's rare that it's rare. It wasn't on you. It was on everybody that was doing that. It's rare that you're going to have a kazayis that's not or you have to have either one or two things, either kazayis or under kazayis, which is not metunef inside a sefer. It's minanimna. It's a crumb. It's a dust. It's not. That's not it. So therefore, din you don't have to check the svarim. But what you do have to check, meaning you don't have to clean out the svarim. What you do have to clean out is the areas there for shteitzach, any area that a child could reach. Any normal adults don't put kazaysim out there. So it's probably makom shein machdisim b'chametz. What's an afkin mean of all this? I'm still not letting the sefer at my table, not putting it to my table. The only svarim that I bring to my table on Pesach are Haggadahs, right? And not a Haggadah that you decided for the last 2 weeks to learn while you're taking kids to the park and having all the, all the years. My kids already know, Tati, sandwiches with potato chips, right? And, lots of them, right? Dorito sandwiches and other healthy things like Coke and, and so that, and I'm sitting there with Haggadah. That Haggadah, you do have to check, right? And that Haggadah don't bring to the table. Any of you guys that decide to check every single sefer, so then I still wouldn't bring it to the table because I don't trust you, right? All those chaver that do this weird thing. You ever see this? Right? What? Did anything just fall out? I'll prove to you now. Hello, Kinderlach. This thing over here, right? Was in it? How come it didn't even budge? Right? So there's a full schnitzel in here, right here. No, no. Well, you start shaking like this and like that, right? What? Oh, yeah, much better. Sitter. Weiter. So now you got cleaning. I hope it's clear. Cleaning, was it? So benchers, it's true, thank you. Benchers is not good to bring to the table on Pesach, the benchers. I gotta have kosher Pesach benchers. These are the ones I use on Shabbos, these are the ones I use on Pesach, right? The Shabbos. I have somebody also got me one like that, and I use them on Pesach. So the regular benches, that I do try to clean out, because you can have in there, you can have in there from last Shabbos. A crumb that's a nice size crumb, and it's not matern of ksas. It could be from last Shabbos already, So that does get me a little more scared. So there, I try to epis clean it out. I must admit, or it's a good time once a year to decide it's time to get rid of this bencher. They were divorced 40 years ago, right? It's time to get rid of the bencher, right? Okay. I told you I'm still in a good mood today. No? You know I've been in such a good mood. So it's time to get rid of this bencher and whatever, right? What? The kids are divorced. What do you mean? What did you just say? Oh, the kids' book. So the same thing. The kids' book is a little bit more, but and you sell it. And for lots of them, and you sell it. Okay. Rabbi said, if you want to spend time going through every kid's book, every page by page, it's in date, right? I'm just telling you that Medina, you don't have to. Obviously, you should not use the kids' books on Pesach, and you have I don't know, I'm sure Art School has like Yankel and Dina have a Pesach Seder and whatever. Okay, right? Yankel and Dina get stuck in Eretz Yisrael because united. I love this Kallus. I love this Kallus. I heard that. But if you find chametz in the Sefer on Pesach, right? So then obviously get away from the table. But between me and you, you're not over about Yirah because it's probably matern of ksas. If you find a nice geschmack piece, so I'll tell you a little secret. If you find on Pesach like a nice wafer or something like that, probably it's sold anyways, because the ashtaris take care of you, and ashtaris basically make it that it's sold anyways, right? Okay, the minig is that you still anyways can burn it, but it's a big shaila to burn it. Who remembers why? Because I'm burning Leroy's, lunch. What gives you a right to burn? No, on Yontif Chalila. That's for sure. On Yontif, the truth is, it's muksa. So you can't pay, muksa. This year is on muksa. But Yontif, it's muksa. That's just muksa. If you accidentally pick it up, don't quickly put it down on something, because that would be bittul kli mechanai. I love that. Okay, now, but what you do, you cover it. Like Chazal say, just cover it that nobody should come to eat it or something like that. You could probably kick it. What? No, but on Yontif, he's on Yontif now. Yontif, I wouldn't. I could put him. Halachos of Bishul, Yontif, just like. Sorry. Come again. That's not what. We don't burn. We don't burn on Yontif. Halacha, we don't burn on Yontif. But so what? It's Leroy's. That becomes a shaila. It's Leroy's. You don't have a right to burn. But if you find it on Yontif, Lazar Chalayim. Don't find it on Yontif. This should not happen. No, so Tiltum Ratzah was the whole raid with the Taz. He said you can't push it out because that was misyaches to the chametz. Could be you could kick it out, but how come nobody gave the eitzah? How come what? Yeah, I know that was the shaila. That was the Taz. We don't know why the Taz didn't make them. No, because that would be Tiltum Ratzah the tzarech over us. That's the tzarech the muksa. That for sure you can't do. Right? So you probably kick it, just kick it out. If you kick it under the table so that no kid eats it or something like that, that's what you're worried about. Otherwise, just leave it. And then after Shabbos, take it, put it in the closet with the stuff that's sold to the guy. Right? That's what you do. Now, sorry? That's what I said. You take it, on Kalamai, just take it and put it into the closet with the stuff sold to the guy. Sorry? Come again? That's what I explained before, that our shtaris take care, our shtaris say in them, nuschayis, that make it that any chametz that would be property has been sold. So it says in shtar, you have to know how that works and why am I doing a bedika? It's a very big kasha. The kasha is a good kasha, but this is what you do l'maisa. What? Some want to say that nach outs, you are allowed to burn it because the guy doesn't really care. Whatever, okay, sure. This is, yeah. Understand? Mm-hmm. No, so if you put it in the closet if you're doing a b'dikas yud base, right? If you're doing a b'dikas yud base, then you just put it in a closet and you have nothing to do with it in Gemara. What? If you do a regular mechira, So as long as you know that you cleaned it out and you know that there's nothing in there which is a kazayis or a matun of ksas. So what are you doing stam in bedika in general? What you're doing in bedika is you're going around. First of all, I always leave one area. I always leave like the bottom shelf of the sarm shank, because that's an area which is a makom shemachnis and b'chametz. And I know for sure I have one area that was not properly checked, right? Until like every year. No, Tati, we did that. I was like, right? But that this year, I'm going to tell them that's my job. I'm cleaning the bottom shelves of the farm shank and whatever. So now I know there's one area that was vaday not checked. And therefore my bracha is chal according to all shitas and all paiskim, and I don't have to think. What are you doing during the bedika after you baitik that one area? You go around, you make sure every year you find something. Did we clean this? Did we this? That's what you're basically doing. You're going around. There's always an area that you didn't realize, especially the oilam that's maybe for the first time doing it. You're not adept at this yet. You're not skilled. And therefore it could happen that you'll forget something. Sorry?
This year, on Arab Pesach,
Arab Pesach, the Isser Chametz is only chal anyways on Yadalit during the day, Shabbos day. So anything that you find, right, is not, just dispose of it. Throw it in the green garbage outside and so, right? What? No, after Chatzos and Shabbos, it's not a Chatzos, it's after it's already muktzah probably by the 6th hour, whatever. But Akapanim, it's muktzah. Like 11:40, I think it becomes muktzah. 9:40, I think it becomes nasa to eat. I think like 11:40, it's there already. What?
What's the best thing to do if Shabbos afternoon, if the person found it could be a good smack?
Shabbos afternoon, same thing. Kick it out, whatever, one of these things, like you said. Sorry? Kol Chamira, the Mishnah Berurah says you only say this. Yeah. But the Rabbi says it can't, maybe it's my fault. I said, it's maybe for the sake of the item. Leave it to me now. Leave it to me. I'll answer you, but leave it to me from this point, because I'm afraid it's going to come out not clear otherwise. Kol Chamira, just asked, I'll mention. Kol Chamira is, this year what we do is we do Kol Chamira when we, on Shabbos for sure you have to do Kol Chamira. For sure you have to do Kol Chamira, because when you're at 9:40, whatever, when you get rid of the last bits of chametz and this, you certainly have to do bittul, and certainly that's the more important bittul. There are those that have a nugget. Mishmur says you don't have to, but there are those that do it even when we burn on Friday morning, because they don't want to differentiate between this year and a different year, because if you don't do the regular, what you do this year, you're going to wind up messing up next year. Plus, we also do it by the B'dika. So this year, you can come out 3 Kol Chamiras, you come out 3 Kol Chamiras. Now this is l'chayra selling. This is just but the after Nussi, Rabbi say after Nussi, let me just, for the sake of the clarity, let me just go in my order. Anybody has a shaila, write it down. I think it's getting too out of control.
I tried to ask before about books and opposed to Islam. Why are the books that the children have to be checked?
Just not practically. They eat more. There could be a whole bagel in there, which is practical. Okay, if nish, it's the way I explained it.
And also, that's a lot nicer.
Now what?
Books that going to be clean completely.
Again, anything that you're going to be putting on the table, b'vadai. Anything you're not putting on the table, you just have to make sure that there's not going to be a kazayas or under kazayas, which is not metunaf. So then now each person has to on his own figure out how to get there, right? I know that once I take all the toys, just throw it into a bathtub for 10 seconds, right? So then I know for sure there's nothing in there that's the kazayas, or I know for sure that even if there's definitely no kazayas. The most it could be is an under kazayas, and it's matun of kazas. So that's what I do. What you want to do to get to that point is your business. Each person on their own. Same thing with the books. It's true. The kids' books, you don't have to go through every page. You have to just make a looking around. Now you know everything in there is a kazayas for sure not. Under kazayas probably also not. But whatever's under kazayas can be matun of kazas, and then you just sell it. I would not let the books around because books wind up on tables, etc. Especially children's books. That's the ma'isa. One more question, Rabbi Milo. What do you want to ask me? The car. Listen, anything on the floor in the car. Now, everything you learned today. So how do you clean the car, right? So very simple, right? You clean the car like a normal human being cleans the car. Anything that is under kazayas and matun of ksas, there's no problem, and it's not coming into my mouth. Kazayas, you could very well. Everyone knows here under the seats. You all cleaned your parents' cars in America or your own cars, and under the seats and all the hard places and all those places that like you get in between the seat, and sometimes you come back up and you only have like 4 fingers or what. Each person has to know how to do it. But the point is, what we're looking for is kazaysim or under kazayis, which is not matun of ksas, and that in a car, on the floor, anything on the floor I'm not saying, if I say, when I do these things, when I'm going to clean the car, I'm going to clean it properly. Because first of all, once a year, and second of all, I want the chumr, the chametz. I don't want to have any chametz. But this takes away the stress once you know what you're supposed to be doing. Sorry? That's also true. That's also true. Okay, so now we have selling, we have cleaning, and we had bedika just now. And we also talked about, there was one other thing. Well, Kochamira, that was one other topic though. Okay, so weiter. Okay, so you just asked about cosmetics. I'll make this as quick and painless as possible. The guy cosmetics, so the psak ha'ikra din is all the soaps, shampoos, creams, makeup, right? And I'll get to exceptions in a moment, so don't worry if I didn't say an exception yet. Are all deodorants, I didn't say perfume yet, you'll see why in a moment. All of them are kosher lePesach, even if they have a picture of like a bagel on them, all these interesting shampoos. You sometimes come to the mikveh, what's the guy putting on his hair? Right? Got like a full bagel over there, right? That is not chametz. It's not asibana, and it's also not such good shampoo. That's not a problem. Now, I tell you, everybody say, Lev Yadei Maras Nafshay, in the Yerushalayim Mir Kodesh, I tried to do the chumras. I tell my wife, if the head and shoulders is on the list, so you use the head and shoulders. Why not? It makes me feel frum, and I want to feel frum on Pesach, and leave me alone. Okay? But if for cosmetics, any list except for women at the wall. Okay? What are we dealing with over here? We're dealing with something that Rabbi Kallus just said doesn't need a kosher lePesach. Floor cleaner doesn't need a kosher lePesach. Window cleaner doesn't need a this part of me which just says, I do tell my wife to use something that, or my daughter, whatever, that you should use something which is on a list, simply because again that my lave tells me it is mutter, because it has changed its form. This is a big sugya and whatever. And I think I'm going to talk about this by the Agudah, so you can listen to the Shiur there. But already the Maskana, so it's like hard, right? But the Maisa, Ramosha says not like this. It's you do it from Ramosha, not like this. Ramosha held that they could distill the perfume. This is a davar tamua, but it was Yatsa Mipisha Ramosha. So once it was Yatsa Mipisha Ramosha, so then get the one that's on the list, and the other ones obviously sell or whatever. If somebody would tell me that, like, Ahmed, you don't know what my wife smells like, her cat's dying on some skin and whatever, right? So then, I'm going to probably be makel on the perfume, but you get the point. Does everybody get the point? That's the creams, that's the shampoo. Now, lipstick, that can have a taste, and for sure you should make sure anything that can have a taste, you have mouthwash and toothpaste and all these things. And whenever there's that one mechadesh who likes to show that you don't need kosher lePesach, he's wrong. So look upon him, you need kosher lePesach on anything coming into your mouth, and it's at least the chumr de Pesach if I'm wrong, which I'm not, so don't worry. So that's what you do. It's very simple. Pills, the Maisa, some of these pills have a taste, everybody say, right? Anything that has a taste is a different shmooze. The first Navadi could sell it, right? Any vitamin, Navadi should have a kosher lePesach if you're going to eat it, otherwise just sell it. However, if you have a pill that doesn't have a taste, right? So if you can find that same pill, some people have this type of pill and that type of pill. If it doesn't have a taste maker, then it's mutter gomer, no shayla. You want to know? Could you try to find the one that's on the list? Why not? Today with internet, you could probably get, not you guys, your mother, right? So it could tell you the 500 lists and this and that or whatever. But does everybody understand? I said it very quickly. Does everybody understand? What? So that is something that has a taste, right? Akamoli has a taste. Usually, before Pesach, you can philosophize on the pharmacist and ask the pharmacist if it's from person, which ones are kosher. They have their list, but there always are in Eretz Yisrael. I remember last year there was brought one akamoli, which was problem shtickle. I remember last year there was one, but there were like 6 that were good, and I say, what? Dark Agav, kidneyist medicine generally were make one. General maker one. What? Sorry? Then what? For who? For the baby or? But they just get the one that's kosher lePesach, right? Sorry? Oh, they are. I'm saying there exists kosher lePesach ones. You just have to get it. Sometimes in Eretz Yisrael, the market sometimes gets complicated, right? You go into the store and you still have the kosher lePesach akamoli, right? And you come out with like an avocado for so you have to Each person has to know, but obviously I also wouldn't want a suppository. So, the baby has rights too, and you can be arrested, right? So let's just,
What's the premise of the Blumenfang's book then?
Yeah, a lot of the book is a lot of stuff. That's not the only thing in his book. His book is, people only think his whole book is one thing, is the medicine this. It's like 3 pages out of this 500-page masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. The Sefer goes through how to clean for Pesach. People don't know this. It goes through how to clean for Pesach. Also, like I said myself, I also try to do the chumras. I try to do the chumras. Why not? I don't see why not. What?
It just says
Not to smoke a Pesach, because you don't know if your matzah. Your okay. Yeah. The lipstick is like, if you have the painty lipstick, right? The one that's like a paintbrush type of thing, right? So that one is no problem, right? But sometimes they have the ones that are, and they have a taste and whatever. So, you should just know beforehand that it's very easier by side. Generally, you can just find the one that's a kosher Pesach one. Makeup doesn't have any problem, and eyeshadow and all these things don't have any problem. Kosher Pesach, eye drops, no problem. Ear drops, no problem. Baby wipes aren't a problem. Somebody told me it's kosher Pesach baby wipes. So don't. What? Dish soap, Mikra Din doesn't really need to be kosher Pesach, but you buy the kosher Pesach one. Mikra Din. What? Sorry? It gets washed off. It doesn't leave a taste. If it leaves a taste, right? It means that you were washing the dishes, right? What? Mice are going to get the kosher Pesach detergent anyways. Okay, let me get weiter. Right? What? So again, if your baby, there's no question that kidneys is mutter for a baby. It's no shaila. If there is a substitute which is not kidneys, so then use that. If that one is not as good for your baby, then use the kidneys one. And what you do is, like everyone knows, you get a separate pot or whatever. Usually it's not a pot anyways. You just take a plastic cup and you make whatever maternal or whatever zach, and you put it inside a cup and you make it in a separate thing. Sorry? Try not to, what's it called? Don't put it in the powder and then pour the water straight on and make a nitzuk. Who wants that? Avad b'diavad will be kosher. But why do that? Why would we do that? What? Come again? They're called dummies. Yeah. So dummies and baby bottles. So look, listen, the baby bottle, the reason why you would get a new baby bottle is because it gets washed with hot water and things like that. And that's a shtickle shaila. So it's good to get a baby bottle. The pacifiers, so, that doesn't bother me as much, obviously, if you clean the pacifier, whatever, that bothers me less. The dummy bothers me a lot less. So the dummy bothers me a lot less. Okay, let's get started here. Let's get started. Let's get to the kitchen, okay? Good, so far good? Everybody's clear? Okay, let's get to the kitchen. So, oven loch. Everyone leaves ovens for last, but I know you guys, you want ovens. I'll go with the ovens. So like this, if you have a self-cleaning, again, I'm talking to a group that is, how to stell at your house one day, when, if you go and build a ganze kitchen and this and that's okay. So you would buy a self-cleaning oven or you get a special oven for Pesach. I'm talking in a tzibur over here that is, I don't want to chas v'chalila say stuck for Pesach, but that is being, stuck for Pesach, right? And then Mela, wants to know what to do. I gotta have to buy an oven and a this and a that and whatever and this. And also you want it to be a pleasant experience, right? The first year that I was married that I was in Eretz Yisrael for Pesach. So I asked the Rav what to do, and he said, look, there's a big chumrah not to use your oven. And in those days I didn't have a self-cleaning oven and whatever. So I went and he told me to buy a oven insert, and it was a lot of fun, go to my sharm and having and of course you can't actually measure right your oven, and he obviously is not going to make it the right size. And it was a tremendous avoida in trying to get, it just doesn't work. Imagine trying to get this into here. It's just not going to go, right? And it's going to turn off my microphone, right? My microphone is being moicha right now. All right, I'll turn you off, and then I'll start again. I'm sorry. Okay, but it's not going to fit. It's just not going to fit, right? So, and once we did get it in, once we got it to fit, so the oven is extremely stupid, right? So when you have a thermostat, let's try and figure this out. I have an oven. Hey, how does the oven know that it's 400 degrees in here, right? How does the oven know? It doesn't have a nasi with the air conditioning remote. Right? How does it know when it's 400 degrees in here? So the oven has a little thermostat, and the thermostat says, "Ooh, very hot." Now, let's all think for a moment. Come. Let's all intelligent people think for a moment. If I take an oven insert and I put it into the oven, and the thermostat is over there, let's say this is your oven insert, this whole area, and the thermostat is there. This line sticking out is your thermostat. And now, there's a piece of metal blocking all airspace. So how fast is she going to think it's 400 degrees, right? You got already. Very good. Right? Normally, it would take him like 12 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it's 400 degrees. Says, "Ooh, it's hot. I can turn off." Now, in 5 minutes, it's "Ooh, hot mikvah," right? And he turns off. Okay, then after a long time, he turns back on because he's very hot. Then he turns back on. Now, in the meantime, the roast is going, "Hey, no. You understand? Difficult years." Okay. So therefore, an oven insert is a big chumrah, meaning it's a chumrah, but it's a big tircha, very difficult to cook. The other alternative is to buy one of these little mini ovens. Okay, first of all, not everybody has money for that, and whatever. Okay, and they're not so big. Okay, this is all gewaldic if you could do this. If someone is not willing to do number one or number two, and if he has a self-cleaning oven, on a self-cleaning oven, there are the racks. You also have to self-clean, and the grates, you also have to self-clean. If your self-cleaning oven is not holding by that, so then you have to turn it on to its highest, meaning for the grates and the racks, and then afterward cover it. Well, why should you do any kulas? Just do that. Some have a chumrah to cover the door in a self-cleaning oven if it's a glass door, and you just don't be yekish about the silver foil. You have to tape it down because you won't be successful. But every time you put food in, so you just make sure you put another piece of silver foil on the door, and then any blias won't go because and you just you keep it sticking out of the oven a little bit. That's what you do if you have a self-cleaning oven. If you do not have a self-cleaning oven, you're not holding by the insert and you're not holding by the mini oven. So what do? So what you do is you clean it out with a death murder spray, right? And then after you clean it out with the death murder spray, you clean it out again with the death murder spray, right? It's not that hard, it's just you won't be able to breathe, and that's why we have masks, right? And then afterward, you burn it out to the highest for an hour or for the most time that's ever been on, for an hour and a half or whatever. And now, after you do that, and you do it again, right? You do it again just to push it nikama, right? And then afterward, this is what I would tell people. The racks, whatever you can do. We're trying to get whatever chumrah we can get. This is Rav Aaron with Mekel, so nobody can come achar Rav Aaron and say that it's usher. But just a moment. What? We'll get to the top grades about Maisa. But again, no, just hold off on shadows. I think for the sake of the oilam, it's good. I just that it'll come out clearer. It's a shot. Again, now where were we up to? The racks. You try. Rav Aaron said it's mutter, and we don't have to worry about the blias from the oven. But why? Any chumrah I can get, try to get. So if you can cover the grate, cover it also with a silver foil. If I did it in the self-clean, why not do it here? If you can cover the door, cover the door. If you're very athletic and you can cover the sides, do that. If you can't, so then I'm going to tell you one more. Everything we're trying to do, it's mutter. But everything we're trying to do is get nacha chumrah. My suggestion, and this is what I tell people, is that if you want to do the Medina, it's mutter. If you did just that, you're kosher lePesach, you're allowed to use it for Pesach. Okay? If you're not using your oven for Pesach, death murder spray, close it, kol tuv. Right? Because then what's in there? Odpam. No kizayis and no. I am going to clean my oven because once a year, anyways, and I want to get the chumras and whatever. Okay. Now, if you are good, everyone. I'm sometimes going fast, but everyone gets. But again, if you're not using the oven, or you are using the oven. If you are using death murder spray, and so fighter. What? You can't spray in the death murder spray? I don't think you're right at all. That's good. Yeah, you could. I don't know. I'm not taking a prize for his, but for everybody else's, you could. Right? Sorry. Oh, so thank you. A but please, it's really my train of thought. A suggestion halacha. What I tell people is that before Pesach, chametz is batel. That's bashal. Before Pesach, it's only on Pesach that we have problems, right? Meaning, whatever, Shabbos afternoon this year, it doesn't matter, it's Shabbos afternoon. But before Pesach, chametz is batel. and pogim is bottle and everything is bottle. It's only on Pesach that we don't care about pekam and we don't care about bittul and whatever. So what I tell people is, anything you can cook before, what's the problem lady has? Let's just say she should go and cook everything double wrapped, then there's for sure no problem. So Teretz says nobody wants to cook double wrapped because it doesn't cook so well, right? So what? I can cook anything you cook before Yom Tov, right? So we're Gavaldik now, meaning you just cleaned out your oven, you koshered it and everything. I cooked on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and whatever, even Friday. All that stuff that's cooked, no question in the world, the oven that you just cooked in is l'chatchila kash l'mahadrin, no shayla in the world, because it's before Pesach. Elamai, on Pesach we have our chumras. Okay, so Medina it's mutter, because you kashered it according to Rav Aaron. But now anything you cook that now wrap, and to heat up things wrap doesn't bother anyone, and I don't need double wrap, I just need to make sure it's covered, right? And that doesn't bother most people. That'll take care of you for a few days of Pesach. It'll take care of you for a few days of Pesach. That's my suggestion. And if you can handle that, then good. If you can't handle that, then you can be Samech on Rav Aaron. That's that. Clear? Sorry? No, just in practically, people don't want to cook things that are covered. It doesn't cook as well. They have reasons. They have to keep it open or closed or whatever. Warming up, because people have less kapetas. It's already been cooked. Now you're just trying to heat it up. It's a whole different parsha. That everyone understands what I said? It's what I'm saying is a chumrah in Eretz Yisrael. What I'm saying is mikra din, because they don't hold the Rav Aaron. They don't hold that you can kasher an oven. So okay, but the Maisa, you guys, you keep 2 days, you can hold like a rock.
Was it a few days?
Mm-hmm.
Give you a number of few days.
No, I mean, if you're able to cook the entire Pesach before Pesach, then you're a very, very special person.
So it's still
Right.
better to do a few days than a whole day.
Why not? Well, every chumrah I can get. Some people are like all or nothing, So I'm not getting the chumrah anyway. Why should it be like that? If you can have 5 days of Pesach with this gavaldik chumrah, so then why not? Why not? Elamai, for the last 2 days, Shabbos and the day of Yom Tov, you won't be able to hold by this, or the last 2 days of Chol Hamoed. Okay, so the last 2 days of Chol Hamoed, Shabbos, you'll be Samech on Rav Aaron. But why should I be Samech on it the entire time when I can get especially for Seder night? I mean, in anyways, in Seder night, well, it's not a guess. Seder night, anyways, you're probably cooking before, anyways. But okay, is that clear? Crystal clear. Okay, the stovetop. Look, each person has to know himself. If you want. It is an ASIC to be cleaning these things. You spend 200 shekel, you can buy 4 burners and you don't have to think about it. Clean it and say kol tuv to him and then just attach it. Okay, if you're not holding by that, so then you can kasher a stovetop. I'll tell you how to, right? If it's a regular stovetop, you take a blech, you take a piece of metal, you turn on the burner, don't turn on all 4 at once, because then the blech is going to fold and the house is going to burn. So you don't do that. What you do is you turn on one of them at a time or one across at a time. You burn each one out for, each guy says his own thing. Let's see, some say 10 minutes and he says 5 minutes and he says 3 minutes. What am I supposed to say? I'll find something in the middle. Here, how much does he want? 15 minutes. Okay, that's a little bit too much for me. Okay, so 10 minutes. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. Somebody said 5, someone said 15, so I'm going to say 10. Okay, so it's 10 minutes. You burn her out. You burn her out. You burn her out. You burn her out. They're all burned. In the middle, you just take it, you clean it, and you put on top of it silver foil. And this, you want to be mamish a super machmir. So then cover the grates with silver foil, and that's a chumrah, and that's what your parents do anyways. So it's in to hate. Okay. Now, one moment. The metal. The electric burners, if they are glass, minig Ashkenazim means we don't kasher glass for Pesach. Okay, so therefore, the glass stovetops I'm not talking about. The electric burners, the regular electric ones that are not glass, they're metal. So those you can kasher. How do you kasher? Turn it on. All right, clean it, turn it on, and you turn it on for 10 minutes, and then it's kasher for Pesach. That's it. It's kasher for Pesach. If you have induction, I'm going to tell you a gewaldige kula if you have induction. Does anybody have induction? Or I'm talking to myself. It's a gewaldige kula what I'm going to give you now. It's a wonderful kula. Induction is a glass top. It doesn't get hot. And it gets somewhat hot or whatever. There's things spilled there and whatever. And you can't kasher it for Pesach. That's checkmate. Right? Checkmate. And I happen to have induction. And this year I gave my wife a birthday present that I told her she's going to be able to use the induction this year. How are you going to be able to use the induction? You can't kasher glass. So how are you going to use it? So they made. And I got to think that it comes from me, because I spoke about this in the big shul in Ramat Shlomo about 3 years ago. Well, I spoke about it here. I spoke about it every year. And this year, somebody actually manufactured it. I got to find out if the proceeds will go to the kollel. But I spoke about that really, induction is a magnet. It's a magnet. So basically, when you take a pot which is an induction type of, and you lift it, it's still going to work. It's still going to work. So I said, if somebody will just come up with something to put under, all you have to do is wipe it around, clean it, not even death murder spray, right? Murder death spray, right? Just clean it and put on top of it this. So what they came out with is a silicone like pad or something like that, some huge silicone thing. Wipe it around, put it on, and kol tuv, kashal Pesach, according to all the deis and all the Paiskim that ever lived and ever should live. Sorry? So I just saved you big time. What? Give me a call because I got the number. And by the way, when you call, tell them this is Rabbi Kallus' idea and maybe the money should go to the Kallus. All right? This is my idea. You remember? Avi, you remember? You don't know. Yaakov, you remember? I said it. I said take like 3 pennies. I said, you remember? I said take pennies. But I said it's not going to work. It's going to fall. I'm not cool with that. That's what I said like that, right? So somebody came with a silicone. I even mentioned probably you could make like a silicone pad or something like that. That's it. All right, listen.
Why is induction different to no electric?
Induction, you also can't kosher. I'm not koshering it. I didn't kosher it just
Why
now.
can't you do that to no electric?
If you take a silicone pad, and okay, now you have to give a shalom zocher. Okay, right? That's your question. I saw what just happened. It's you again, you Meissner, right? I know what's going on here, right? So watering down the shampoo again. This guy, right? Remember? All right, weiter. The sink is just what? So just you should cover it with clean it and cover it with silver foil because you can't kosher. Now or anything, cover it with anything you want. But polygol is a great thing to go. The countertops. I don't have much faith in you guys. It's nothing personal. I mean, it is personal, that's right. But I don't have much faith in you guys, and you're probably not going to be able to kosher your countertops properly. And therefore, what you do is that you turn on the hot water. You scream very, very loudly. Everyone out of the kitchen. Everyone out of the kitchen. No, because you want to make shidduchim for your children, right? Out of the kitchen, out of the kitchen. Tell your wife, go. Close the door. There's no door in the kitchen. Put up something, right? Okay, right? And just start splashing. Splash, right? Because you're all going to just cover your countertops, which that's me'ikar adin, and you're not using an Evan Melubin anyways, and you don't have a kosher countertop, and half the time you're going to mess up. And I get nervous that if you kosher the countertop, then you're going to wind up actually thinking that you did a right job, right? So therefore, if you want to also kosher the countertop, isn't it? But you better cover. And what I suggest in covering, each person's his own. I suggest you have a lot of fun. You go to the hardware store, and you buy this thing called polygol. It's double. It's like corrugated. It's like plastic cardboard. It looks like cardboard. It's double-sided, and it's the best al pi halacha because nothing can go through. No blias can go through. It's the best thing. What? The best thing. You can cut it into the size of your countertops. If you do that, you do not need to kosher. It's my suggestion, and we're going weiter. The back of your, what you ask here, Rabbi Rosenberg, the back of the thing. Listen, with all these things, the Chumrah de Pesach is using the counter, so you should cover the back. And another place, which is a scary place that you for sure have to cover, everybody say, you have the closets. Under the closets, the steam goes the whole year. And now you have a pot over there with your kashal Pesach, and the steam is going up, and it stops right there and comes down the blias, and there's a whole bagel that's coming down, and there's pizza, and there's your shalmi kugel, right? And they're all coming down into you. So yes, just cover it. You can clean it and cover it, right? But there, if you didn't, I could be makel. If you swear on a sefer Torah, you're not going to put out food there. It could also be makel, but it's not the derech. People are going to just cover it with silver foil, cover it with the polygol if you want, whatever you want. The sink. Everybody say 31 shekel, and you can get a sink insert. It's kedai because, let me just finish the sink. 1 moment. The sink. If you have a metal sink, I don't trust you guys that much. I don't trust you that you're going to know how to kosher properly. It's a little bit difficult to go into all the halachos of koshering now. I would suggest a sink insert. I would also suggest I'm talking now just in the practical, what I suggest to do. I'm saying each thing you can give all shiur about. I suggest a sink insert. I also suggest not using on Pesach boiling hot water. Use warm water, don't use boiling hot. You could sometimes have problems, back up in the sink. It could be sometimes like, it's getting higher in here. It's getting high. Hey, what's going on in here? Right? And then flush. I mean, you don't want this, everybody say. Sorry? The grate.
No, great, like cover the bottom of the original sink. That it will never touch.
Don't worry, your sink insert will never actually fit your sink. I didn't understand your question because you're talking about a material. It's a first cousin of the oven insert, Dovi. Yeah? Okay. Akapanim. Yeah, halavai. If you want to bring a brick there or something, halavai, because I'm saying. Wait, sorry? You could. It's just not so practical. It's not practical. Sometimes the heavy-duty silver foil works. It's not so practical. The faucet. One more. Please, everybody say. It's getting difficult. So let me go at my pace. It's a sham. Whatever I don't answer during the share, I'll answer. The faucet. The faucet. The minig is to pour boiling hot water on it, and the minig is to turn on the hot water at the same time. It doesn't have to be the same time. You turn on the hot water. You pour bleach down the sink when the hot water is going down. Right? Why you're doing that is I'm not so sure, but you are, right? No, because it back up and shidduchin. No, but we already kashered the kitchen. What? The mezinka. Okay. I don't know. So do it because that's what I'm doing, right? So why you're not better than me? So you pour down the bleach and the boiling hot water and everything. Okay, that part, because anyways, we're not using the sink. That's why it's a little hard to understand, especially if you're doing what I'm doing, that you're only going to use warm water on Pesach and you're not going to use boiling hot. Akapanim, the faucet itself now is kashered. The only thing is, I don't really trust that you're going to do a good job in the kasher. It's also, how do you kasher underneath, right? So if you have ones that go like this, yeah, but this part doesn't go like this, right? It's like an arm. Lamaisa can't, it doesn't work, right? So, the part, I just say that, look, the actual thing, the actual, spout, right? That thing, you can pour boiling hot water in kasher, okay? But, the other part, you probably should cover it with silver foil. That's what I do. I wrap it in silver foil. And the faucets, you can just wrap in silver, the handles, just wrap in silver foil. Atkan is the kitchen. Hot plate, one moment. From this point, I'm not answering questions because it's throwing me off. So from this point, no questions. Anybody has a question, please write it down. Hot plate, you can't kasher a hot plate, but what you can do is you clean it, death, murder spray, I guess, or I don't know. Clean it. After you clean it, cover it with 2 pieces of silver foil. Make sure the whole Pesach that you've covered it with 2 pieces of silver, meaning make sure that doesn't come off. That is definitely a major problem, a leaping problem. Make sure it stays covered, keep checking her and whatever, and then you're okay. But you can't really kasher it. That's the chayr. Sorry? Now, thank you. Tables, high chair, etc. Right? Maisa, tables and chairs, just clean. You're a normal human being. You're not a clean. Okay? Don't pour boiling hot water on your tabletop, right? And if you do, then go into Mike's Nets and say, I know your son, Rabbi Kallus, I want to buy a new table, right? Because you will have to buy a new table. So the high chairs, just clean them, Rabbi said, and cover them. Anyways, usually don't put such hot food on a hot tray, but still cover it. That's the minig. That's what you do. Legabe, there was something here I saw. Okay, look. Oven, aprons, bibs, dish towels technically do not need new ones for Pesach. I don't know, somebody who's here who got stuck here. So for him to go and invest in new ones, I can't say he's mechuyev to. He's definitely not mechuyev to. You wash it in the washing machine and they are kosher lePesach. How much time do we have? Okay. Sorry? Fridge, you just clean and clean and clean and clean. Right? And then we all have the same thing, Rabbi said. How in the world did that bagel get in the vent there? Right? You take a crowbar, right? And you still can't get it out. Okay, you don't really have to do that, right? You don't really have to do that. And every one of us is for sure going to take some, but we can't get just a beak, right? Just to get him in the vent over there. So technically you just clean and clean and clean and clean. And that's it. That's what you do. You just clean. The closets that you're going to use, clean and clean and clean and clean. You don't have to kasher. Sorry? So now, fridges are very dumb. Who are they married to? Ovens, right? Fridges and ovens are very dumb. So now, what happens when you take a fridge and you take a piece of covering paper or something, and you cover the bottom shelf, right? Where's the thermostat in the fridge? Sometimes she's on the bottom. Okay? Now the fridge says like this. The fridge says, I got to make sure that it's cold in the whole place, right? The whole place is cold. Now there's a piece of paper and the thermostat usually gets the whole feeling of the whole fridge. Oh, it's the same problem. Here comes the piece of paper, or whatever you have in there in the fridge, And now the thermostat, the air goes up, comes right, whoa, it's freezing in here. This isn't the freezer. This is not the freezer, not Lakewood. This is a fridge. So all of a sudden turns off. Upstairs, sweltering. Help us, right? Upstairs is a thing of milk saying, please, right? Please, right? And then, down there on the bottom, ooh, nice, perfect fridge, right? You know what everyone says on Pesach? All the food spoils. You know what I'm talking about? Like all the milk always spoils and this always spoils. No, they don't. Same milk, Rabbi said. Same cow. Yeah. So why is it spoiling? Because in your fridge upstairs, it's like the Bahamas. You understand? Right? So now, my minig is that I cover everything that touches food. That's my minig. So you just make sure you have brains when you're covering, right? I cover everything in the closet. Okay. Don't know when you're covering in the closet, you don't have to make that it's exact fit enough. The minig covering is just to be covering. The truth is, I firmly believe that, for example, this should not be taught to Bali Tshuva, Rabbi say. And some of you I don't consider much better, but you understand, No, you have what I'm saying, like if you don't have the minig, today we have cleaning abilities and cleaning surfaces and everything. They had the minig of covering for whatever reason. But Lamaisa, I clean because again, I'm sorry, I clean because Allah. I cover because it's shidduchin and whatever, and we cover everything. But you don't have to you have a box of matzahs, which is there's a plastic inside also, and it's on the paper, but next to the paper, there's a crack that is a microscopic crack between the paper and the wall. A makel, you don't have to cover that part. Okay? Good? Let's go weiter. Now let's start. Now, so what did we get to? We got cleaning. We got what else? No? Selling, covering, koshering, countertops. Wash out your mouth, Rabbi side at 9:40. You got all that chametz stuff in there. You have chametz, some have a chomer not to use hot chametz. Braces, you have to pour boiling hot water on your mouth. Shali, you set me up for that one. Ein malasah, we say it's pugim in the mouth. Ein malasah, you have to say it's pugim. What? That's Shalom. Who's based on Shabbos? What just happened here? Next thing you know, they'll be using baby wipes. What's it? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Make a shotgun schnitzel the way you're talking. What's going on with you? Sorry? So look, Lamaisa, you could technically, you could kosher pots, right? You can pans is much more complicated, Liban and whatever. Yeah, but you can start doing Liban and you can start doing Gagala. Everybody has to know that, there is a more lechatchila to not. If a person can't afford it, you're allowed to kasher, you're allowed to kasher a pot. And they have the Kallus stations. You're not going to do it on your own. They have their Kallus stations all over. Problem is that sometimes at the Kallus station, not always is the Kallus station run by the best bacher in yeshiva. Sometimes he doubles as the pizza guy and also the waiter with the very tight black shirt. You know what I'm talking about, right? So not always there's a hashkacha taking place at the Kallus station. So go to the one where it's the best bacher in yeshiva, the other side of the street. You understand? That's it. Well, Kiddush cups the minigis to kasher with it to do a gala, but the mice you could also do it yourself. You could pour boiling hot water yourself on it. What? Come again? The halacha we're makel. When we are makel, I would say that for Pesach, the chomer to Pesach is to not be saynech on it and to try to get new pots. That's what I would say, but you can't be koif for such a chumrah. So the ikra din is that it's mutter. Sorry? Kiddush cup of mice, if you want, you can pour the boiling hot water on yourself. Right? You can pour in the boiling hot water yourself. Well, come again? Or you can put it in the boiling pot or in the pot. Either one is fine. It only got chametz possibly from hot water in a sink, which was an Shiur. Anyways, that's the most it could have been. Now, what about whiskey? Right, that's why you're going to do Shiur to it also. So you're going to do Shiur. By the way, when you put the whiskey in the cup, it doesn't last very long. Right? Sorry? The what?
Cover up the wife.
Okay. Now, let's get right to the person. Where are we holding here? I got the Seder for 2 minutes. Let's talk about the Seder, right? The Seder, one thing in the Seder is tzukim into Amuna. Amina, right? You have to come to Amuna. If you didn't come out of the Seder with more Amuna, you failed. Okay? No, you can't say that to people today, right? You failed miserably, right? If you didn't come out of the Seder, you and your wife with more Amuna, so then you have failed miserably, which means you have to spend the next 2 weeks preparing and practicing and making sure that when it comes out on that night, that you're going to come more to an appreciation of the Halachos of Bishul and how much he loves Kallus Yisrael and how upset that Kadosh Baruch Hu. Don't talk about migus. Okay, don't talk at the Seder about Bittul Klime Heichanai, right? Don't talk at the Seder about Graf Shel Rei and all the things we love talking about in this room, right? All you talk about at the Seder is Emunah, stories of Emunah, how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves Klal Yisrael, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't deal very well with it when the people do bad things to Jews. He takes frogs and he puts them in your underwear, right? That's what he does when you mess with the Jewish people. That's Hashem loves the Jews. Hashem loves the Jews. Okay? And more Muna and Hashkacha. Yetzias Mitzrayim is a mashal for what's going on in the world. It's a mashal for how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do for Klal Yisrael. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the purpose of the Seder. That's more important than anything else, than anything that we spoke about, so that gives you the chizik for the rest of the year. If you're not used to that, you have to work and get there, read different stories, listen to Shiur, do whatever you can to get there. If you don't get there, maybe we'll get together before the Pesach one day. We'll get like a mock Seder or something like that. We'll have like a mommy and a tati and whatever, like a shmak, no? Maybe we'll come, you guys will come over one of these days? Huh? What? Dalekaisis, yeah, Dalekaisis. Okay, now the actual Seder itself, okay, so you all know, Rabbi say, you're going to read all these, they're going to come out with these alons and the Erev Pesach Chal B'Shabbat. You know already how to do it. 3 sudas and 2 sudas, 2 in the morning, or whatever, split it up. Make sure in the afternoon you eat. I don't have to tell you guys to eat, but make sure that you have kavana, that you're eating shal shudas, because in the afternoon, the payers has to have a din of shal shudas. So you can sleep in the afternoon, but just don't say we're going to sleep to have koyach for the Seder. Comes the Seder, Amuna, everything should be with perfection, no fighting, no nothing, no bad moods. That has to be worked on the day before also. Everything has to be with simcha. Always something is going to go wrong at the Seder. If it didn't go wrong, you are not a Jew, right? This must be a problem. Something's going to go wrong. The wine is going to spill. The wine is going to be off, right? Something is going to go wrong. So go in with the das that 4 things are going to go wrong. And that way, when it was only 3, you're going to be a happy person, okay? The matzah is going to be broken. The middle matzah is not going to be the one that was broken. It's going to wind up that it wasn't matzah. It was really a bagel and mazonis roll. Something is going to go wrong at the Seder, okay? That nothing is perfect. The Halachos of Bishul loves you. Just never lose your cool at the Seder. Never, ever, ever lose your cool and calm and besimcha and ruig. So important. Ruig in the Seder. Right? It's a night of melucha and malchus. And part of being malchustic and ben chayrim is in your expressions, in your facial expressions, in your simcha, in your happiness. That's very, very important. That's ben chayrim. Chayrim means that the person's ruig and calm and simcha. If he's at a different Seder of other people, that sometimes it's not so easy to be that. That doesn't matter. By me, you can't ruin my ruikite on the night of the Seder. Okay, Dalekaisis says, you guys know my sheet is already. Technically, you can have half a cup of wine and half a cup of grape juice if you can't handle a whole cup of wine, and your wife can have grape juice, right? If you can't handle wine at all, try a third a cup of wine, etc. Okay, everybody versteht sich allein how to do this. Don't buy the yain kal stuff. Save your money and do it the way I just explained. Do it yourself. Try to have a small cup because there's a milah to drink the entire cup. How to do a seba. I have a broken rib. It's not going to be so easy. Right? This hand has to be immobilized, right? The left hand has to, you have to lean on your left side. I'm on the left now, or both sides, right? So I like to take a couch. That's what I do. You're in your house. You're a ben chayrin. You're a melech. Bring me that if you don't mind. Thank you. Right? You're in your house. Thank you. Oh, I can't wait, Rabbi. I'm getting excited. Oh, I can't wait. I just can't wait. Okay, 1 second. All right. Oh, this is Mamish Kvali. What? Now, your head should be, there should be a pillow. Does anybody have a pillow over here? Some of you guys sleep. None of you have a pillow? No? Oh, we'll use my bag. The handles are almost done, so, you know. Yeah. Oh, I've never in my life been this happy. 1 second. Oh, it's like a dream. No, they're not seeing me. 1 second. Wait, go over there. Oh, this is like a dream. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. No, it's just too much. I know. Right? Boy, Ray, Priya, golf. With a bib. I have a bib. I have a bib. I don't care. I have a big. You know me. Everybody say, you guys know me with my kittel. What's under the kittel? You all know. You all know. You all know what's under my kittel, right? You all know what's under my kittel, and on top of my kittel, I have a bib. Kosher Pesach. Don't worry, right? It says I'm a big boy and I eat matzah. Right? Boy, Ray, Priyagov. Oh, I mamish can't wait. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Right? Oh, it's like a dream. Like this. Oh, it's more. Who says this isn't comfortable? Right? Check your yichus. Right? Oh. I have never in my life been more happy, ever. Right? Oh, it's like a dream. Right? What? No, because my hand is immobilized. What? The Mishabura says while you're doing a seba, your left hand is immobilized, so that gives you a tsura of how. That's why I dafka do it like this, because otherwise you're not doing it right, probably. Oh, this is great. You look down after. There's more purple on my shirt. At this, don't care about your clothing on Pesach. Don't care about the purple on your shirt. If you come out and there's no purple on the shirt, so then tachin, you're not yaitze. There's no purple on the shirt, and you're not yaitze, man. Now wait. I don't know. Next, that's the dalakaisis. Have das when you drink the first cup of wine, that you are possibly going to be drinking more in case you mess up with a seba. Listen, my wife is an isha chashuva. She does a seba. You tell your wife, you're an isha chashuva. You do a seba. Right? If she didn't, but yeah, but it's okay. Obviously, it's different than hugging. If you have a minute not to, then you don't. Okay. Sorry. Okay. There's other men get it. She doesn't have to do it with the legs up and the whole ganze, you know. Now, everybody's like, I don't know. You have das that you might drink more because you're allowed to have water at this point. Once that gata starts, you don't do anything except for muna. You know, don't forget when to cover the matzahs and dust, like your Zayda said. Now, the matzah, look at the matzah. So the amount, if you want to weigh it beforehand, you want to take one of those scales, it's between the amount that you requires, you know, you can have the top and the middle matzah. You're taking off a part of the top and a part of the middle one, and that's between 27 to 30 grams. If you don't want to count, if you had a half of a hand matzah, it's vadai enough. Right? What? It's huge, but you don't realize you're doing much more. Most people are doing much more than what I just said. The real amount is somewhere between, you know, a third and a half and whatnot. But Akapanim, you know, for a wife, closer to maybe a third. Each person can feed their matzah. If you give a half of a hand matzah, you know you're yaitze. That's, you know, what I just do without thinking. That's what you do. You know for sure there's at least 30 in there, and that you don't realize you're going to wind up doing more if you don't have that in mind. Koirach, morer. So the amount of lettuce. This is how I do it every year. The amount of lettuce that fits in my hand, like this. When my hand is like this, that's the amount of lettuce. The amount of lettuce that fits in my now. The problem is you're not going to have my hand at the seder, right? So maybe what's it called? What? Sorry? It's not usually one stalk. It's usually a bit more because it's the amount that fits in this area. You'll see. What? Yeah, sometimes smaller stalks. Yeah. The mower, we're all the same, Rabbi side. Then we take that, you know, the crane, right? Right? We're all the same. I'm still doing it. I'm gonna do it, right? And you know, and that one kid who's, it's not bitter at all. You know that kid, right? We're all the same, Rabbi. You don't remember getting kicked out of the Seder all those years because when your brother said Manashtad in Yiddish and he said the word ungespart, right? Who remembers, right? I got kicked out of more Starim than since you see it in Israel, right? My therapist says it's good for me to talk about this, but All right. Anyways, what's next? Amuna, Hallel, with the niggin, with singing, with geschmack, with zizkeit, dayenu, geschmack. I try to get it myself, the afikoimin before chatzais, that's the more lechatchila, obviously, and not koif it on my children. I let them do the tonight. Dafni Nezer, you do him, everyone knows, and then they wind up eating azeful matzah. That's okay, everybody knows. And then echad miyadea. After Azan night, after a person got Azan night, so when he says the word one is a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You wake him up in the middle of the sleep. One, gone. Two, on the spot, right? Three, obvious, on the spot. That's what happens after a whole night. Then the Chadgaja is something that, because there was so much anod that the Halachos of Bishul got from the night of Pesach, that you have to be mevatel the ketrugim. So the Chadgaja is like some major type of what's the word in what? No, like neutralizes the ketrugim. When you guys, like all of us do, right? When you go bad, moo, and that, right? When you do that, you're doing something very, very, very halach. Very, very, very halach. Right? Adkan is the Seder. Now just say one thing. One bit of musar. No. You guys don't need musar? You guys need it. Okay? You guys need it. One bit, one drop. And then we'll get together. Maybe one day before Pesach, one day on Pesach or something also. Maybe who knows, right? We'll get together. Maybe we'll have like a Seder or something, huh? Kabbalah. They don't know. You have to have a Kabbalah Snei Rabbi. That for sure. Just this one moment. Let me just say something and then I'll answer questions after. So I had like two shilas. Oh wait, I should invite everybody. 1 second. Okay, I welcome all of the listeners from Taranidine. I see them. Usually in Mir Kodesh. Welcome. Rosh Chodesh is coming. I have two shilas. One shaila is why is it called Pesach? Why is it called Pesach? What do I mean? Why is it called Pesach? The Torah seems to call it not like that, right? The Torah calls it Chag HaMatzos. Why is it called Pesach? Pesach is the day of the Korban, which is on Yud Daled, which has absolutely nothing to do with Chag HaMatzos. Right? And not only that, we don't even have the Pesach today. We don't have a Korban Pesach today. Yet the vernacular, the sprach that we all say by everybody, all the Yidden in the world is Pesach. So it's a good shaila. Why is it called Pesach? It's called Chag HaMatzos. There's always that one interesting guy. He says Chag HaMatzos. You know that guy? You know where he's going now. But that one guy, interesting guy. We call it Pesach. So that one weird guy, Chag HaMatzos. Okay. So let me explain the rest of the world. What's up? Another kasha. The kasha is also an interesting kasha. Why is it called Nisan? What's called Nisan? I know everybody says, I know in Bavel, the names and what I know that also. But obviously there's a reference here to Nes and something, right? So then why isn't it called Nes, right? Chodesh Nes. And why isn't it, I guarantee you one thing, that if it would have been called Chodesh Nes, nobody would have asked, why isn't it called Nisan? Right? And why isn't, and you don't want to call it Nes, so maybe you need like a plural, so call it Nisim. Okay? Also kasha. So those are my two kashas. Why is it called Pesach? And why is it called Nisan? Those are my kashas. Okay, let's go one by one. The kasha legabe, why it's called Pesach. So that brings us to the Ben Yoyada. The Ben Yoyada in Baba Kama on Daf Nun, the Rebbe, the Ben Ish Chai, in Baba Kama Daf Nun. He goes on the famous Gemara. The Gemara says over there that Reb Chanina ben Toisa, there was this Nechunya Chayfer Boyrus, his daughter, fell into he was somebody who went and dug Boyrus for Klal Yisrael when they were Oila the Regal. Gemara, you learned in Yeshiva. And his daughter fell into a pit. They came to Chanina ben Toisa, Rebbe, you have to do something. The daughter of Nechunya ben Chayfer Boyrus, she fell into a pit. Do something. Said, Rabbi Sai, sei still daigenisht, right? Daigenisht, Shari Shaina, Shalom. She's okay. I take responsibility. Shashniya, they came back an hour later, Shalom. She's okay. Shashlishis, what's the matter? She was Oila, she went out. They timed it to the exact time, and it turns out that she got out on the dot when Chanina said, Rebbe Chanina, just a Navi. What are you, a Navi? How did you know that she got out? So Chanina ben Daisa, like Navi ani, like Ben Navi ani. But he said, It can't be such a thing that this Oisai Tzaddik was Moiser Nafshai for the virus of Klal Yisrael, that they should have water when the oil of the regal, and that he'll be nitfus and that he won't have a shmira. It can't be he won't have siyata d'shmaya. No, fact the Ben Ish Chai. Okay, so that, but you obviously are a Navi. You know, the gig is up. You obviously are a Navi, because then why did you know at Shari Shayna Shalim and Shashniya Shalim? So why didn't you just say she's going to be fine, or she came out already? What was Shari Shayna? Just he took responsibility that she's peaceful. Shashniya, she's Shalim, everything's fine. By the third Shai, he took responsibility, she came out. Like, what is that? The Vada, you're a Navi, the Ben Navi, what is that? So it's not the Ben Ish Chai biggest site, which is the biggest site in general, the Yom Tovim, important to know. Explains that we'll go in order. The others were connected, the Gimel Midas, the Gimel Amudei Oilam, the others Avram Yitzchak Yaakov are connected. Can you do it wherever you do it, right? There's three Amudei of the Oilam, there's Torah, there's Avodah, there's Gemilas Chasadim. Avram Avinu is obviously connected to Chesed, it's connected to Gemilas Chasadim, wherever you do it. Yitzchak is connected to Avodah. Yitzchak Metzias, he's the Korban. That is Yitzchak. Yitzchak's Metzias was that he was a Korban. Yitzchak was the Oila Tmima. So he's Avodah. And Torah, Avada is Yaakov Avinu, is Torah, the 14 years, and the Sheba Aver, the Yaakov Avinu. So those are the three Avos HaOilam, and those are the three Amudei Oilam, and they're also connected, that's the Metzias, they're connected to Yom Tovim. They're connected, well, wait, don't worry, right? They're connected Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov are connected Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos. How does it work? Merit Kavar, says the Ben Ish Chai. The Svarim will say these in Yana, but he just brings it out very beautifully. He says Pesach is a yontif which is connected Avodah. Pesach is going to be Yitzchak, who is Sukkot. Sukkot is Chesed. Sukkot is connected Avram. Why is Derech HaGad? Why is Sukkot connected Avram? What's the pshat? Because Sukkot is a tremendous amount of Chesed. It's after Yom Kippur. It's after the Yom Adin. It says Ke'eved a Moizig al Rabbi. Like there's rains on him. So the guy explains it's like the Hamtakas Adinim that come down. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to give us time of ahava, of love, and he goes and he showers us with love, and he gives it in a knife, and that every single thing you do is a mitzvah. You just come and you sleep and you eat, and it's all a mitzvah. There's a tremendous amount of Chesed. That's Sukkot. Pesach is the Korban Pesach. That's connected Yitzchak, which is connected obviously Avodah. And the last one, of course, Shavuos obviously is connected Torah. Is Darb Pshuta. And the truth is that that's a big site. So first of all, now you understand the pshat in the Gemara. So the Ben Ish Chai, that what was going on there by Chanina ben Daisa. By Chanina ben Daisa, he said Shari Shaina. This person, the Chunya, the Chayfer Bayris, he has the schus of Pesach, he has the schus of the Gimel Regalim. He has the schus of Pesach, he has the schus of Sukkot, he has the schus of Shavuos, he has the schus of the Gimel Regalim. The Gimel Regalim gives him the schus of Torah. He feeds them water on the Gimel Regalim. It gives him the schus of Torah. It gives him the schus of Avodah. It gives him the schus of Gemilas Chasadim. Nechunya knew one thing. Chanina ben Daisa knew one thing. He knew that the schus of Chesed, that'll be enough that she'll be at peace. She'll be okay. That schus will be enough that she'll be okay. She's not going to drown. But it's not enough to get her out. The schus of Chesed, the schus of Avodah, that's Shalom, that's Shari Shaina, that was Pesach, that was Sukkot. To get her out, you need the schus of Torah. To get her out, you need the schus of Torah. Now, without the schus of Torah, she's not going to get out of the bore. So Shari Shaina, Shalom. Shashniya, Shalom. But Nechunya, the Chayfer Bayris, he had the schus of all three. By Shashnisha, she had the schus to get out because of the schus of Torah. That's how he explains. But that you see from here, a very big insight. First of all, you understand now the answer to our Shaila. Why is it called Chag Pesach? Why is it called Pesach? Why isn't it called Chag Matzos? Because our connection to Pesach is a Yitzchak, is Avodah. That's our connection to Pesach. It's a yontif of Avodah. So when we want to refer to it, we want to refer to the whole Zman, the Zman of Pesach, the Zman of Yitzchak, the Zman of Avodah. And the truth is, everyone knows this is the reality. Sukkot is a yontif. Everybody's excited when it comes to Sukkot. Nobody says, oh, you have to build the sukkah. It's a kishmak to build the sukkah, because that's a yontif of chesed. That's a yontif that you're all looking forward to, and there's a hava, the simcha, sitting in the sukkah, being in the sukkah. It's chesed, it's kishmak, it's zis. Torah is Torah, Shavuos is Torah. Everyone, the Torah doesn't need to be talked about. Torah is Torah, right? The one Yom Tov, Pesach is avodah. It's avodah. You're not supposed to say, Ma avodah zois lachem. You're not supposed to say it's miserable. But people, it's hard, and they work hard, and it's a difficult Yom Tov, and there's a lot of diktuk, and there's a lot of din, and there's a lot of chumrah, and it's difficult. It's not easy. It's supposed to be done b'simcha. There's no shayla, and if you're not doing it b'simcha, you're doing it wrong. The avodah is supposed to be done b'simcha, but it's avodah. It's avodah. Sukkot is not avodah. There's nobody says, oh, I have to build a sukkah. I can't wait to build a sukkah. Shiur is Torah. The whole Chatz is Torah. Pesach is an avodah. That's the Yom Tov, and that's why we call it Chag Pesach. It's avodah. It's avodah. Derech Agav, this idea. Somebody was telling me there's a Jew named Akiva Eckstein. He has an organization called Tamar, where they bring food to the hospital for people that are not well, and they have to be there over Shabbos. Families that are there over Shabbos, they have to be there. So he said over a story that there was in Tel HaShomer, there's a Nebuchadnezzar child that he was telling over a story that he got a phone call in Erev Shabbos that there's a family that's there for Shabbos and they have to bring all the stuff for Shabbos. And they sent over bags of food and everything so that the family that's going to be there for Shabbos. He said, but there was a story. There's a family, the name was Yechezkel, that was the last name of Shpachah, that the child had drowned in a pool in Or Yehuda. Or Yehuda is a town right in that area over there. And the child drowned in the pool. And they tried to they tried to revive the child. They worked on the kid for like 45 minutes and nothing doing. They took him to the hospital and they told the parents he should die when he dies. Because if he's going to live, he's going to be brain dead and life will be much worse. So Mamela, at the point of where it's not a big simcha. The mother sat by his bed from Sunday to Friday, didn't move from the bed. And with the clarity of Emunah, he's going to get better. No shaila, he's going to get better. So Erev Shabbos, they called. They said the family's here for Shabbos and they should bring the food. So the mother tells him the story. So he says to the mother, see, you have a murdik Emunah. She said, by me, it's not Emunah. By me, it's Pashut. There's no shaila is going to be better. Why? Because I'm the mikveh lady in Or Yehuda. And I'm moiser my nefesh on the mikveh. Every single day, I'm the one that's there. It's not shaykh that his petira is going to come there. It's not shaykh. And he had a refuah shalema legamri. Because when a person is moiser nefesh, for the avodah is moiser nefesh, so then he gets siyata d'shmaya. When a person is moiser nefesh, he gets siyata d'shmaya. So that's why Chag Pesach is a yontif in the island that's staying, for example. It's a little bit difficult for them. It's a bit of Mesiras Nefesh. It's avodah. Avodah, you could do Mesiras Nefesh with Simcha. But it's avodah, and it's a little bit difficult. And to get it right, and to get it perfect, and to do it with Simcha, and it's avodah, that's Chag Pesach, that's Yitzchak. And that's Avada. When you do that, you'll get Siyata D'Shmaya. When you do that, you'll get Siyata D'Shmaya. That's why it's called Pesach. Pesach is a reminder that always it's the avodah. It's avodah. The Korban Pesach, it's a reminder, it's an avodah. The whole yontif is patterned after Yitzchak, it's avodah. It's avodah. But why is it called Nisan? Why is it called Nisan? So Nisan is the answer. Let me explain. When you're going to work hard on Pesach, even when there's Mesiras Nefesh and it's difficult, and you're going to do it right, and you're going to do the Seder right, and you're going to do the cleaning right, and you're going to do the Ratzon Hashem right, and you're going to do the Gans Avodah, then you're going to have Siyata D'Shmaya. Why is it called Nisan? So the Rebbe I never know how to say the name properly, you'll help me out. Bo Hush. Is that right? Boy Hush. The Rebbe Miboyesh, he asked this question. The Rabbi Yitzchak Miboyesh. Is that right? I'm afraid to say it wrong. But so he asked the Kasha. I'll say from this point the Rebbe. The Rebbe Rabbi Yitzchak, he said the Kasha. Why is it called Nisan? Why is it called Nes? Why is it called Nisan? So the Kasha, that's what he asked. He asked it Nisan. So there's a Gemara. The Gemara says that, the Gemara in very famous in the Pasuk in Vayelech, the Gemara says, you're not going to find Torah by those that are, what's the lashon of the Gemara? Loi b'shamayim hi. The pasuk says loi b'shamayim hi. Loi me'ever hayam. The Gemara says you're not going to find Torah by those that are busy ever hayam, those that are trying to make parnasa the whole time. Loi by the lashon of the Gemara by sachronim, the seichrim. You're not going to find Torah by the people that are busy the whole time. You're not going to find Torah by them. That's the Gemara. Big kasha. You're not going to find Torah by people that are the big merchants and big businessmen. No, you know what? The Chai Adam. He was the Gadol Ador, he was the Paisik Ador, he was the Goyin of the Mechutim, he was till today, we live off of the words in the Chai Adam, and the Chai Adam was a businessman. Chai Adam writes in his Akdama that when I was in Leipzig in the Shuk, you should know, there wasn't a second that I was Messiach Das from Torah and all the other merchants will be made. He then goes on to say that his business went sour and that's why he had to wonder why. But he goes on to say that's why I had to take a Steller in the Rabbanis because my business went bad. And that's what he was a businessman. Okay, so what does it mean? The pasuk says loy b'shemayim yavada. You could be. The Torah should have said you could even be. It would have given chizik, right? And you could be in Talmud Chacham Atzim. You could be a gadol ador, even if you're a businessman. The Chabiner in the last door. You don't have to go to another. Chabiner was also in business. His business went bad, maybe the same reason, and then he had to take a steller. But he was a Goyin Olam, and he worked for the right of his life. He was a working man. The Chabiner, Rabbi Yisai. Chabiner. And he was a working man. So what does it mean when the Gemara says loy b'shemayim loy b'evrayam? You could be a businessman. You could be a businessman. So why does it say you're not going to find Torah by the Sachronim? Why not? So let me tell you, there's a Gemara. The Gemara in Bab Metzia says that if you have an animal, kiyira, chamor, sainecha, roivitz, tachas matzoi. If you see an animal that he's buckling under the load, he's buckling under the load. So then you have to help him, hakim, takim, and tazoiv, and whatever, help him up. So the Gemara says like this. The Gemara says, the kiyira, a chamor, roivitz, not ravtsan. Not a ravtsan. What's the difference between a roivitz and a ravtsan? Roivitz means like he fell one time, whatever, you got to help him up. A ravtsan is this animal just keeps on falling. He's no good anymore. Get yourself a new ferret. I don't have to help you every single time, right? Go get yourself a new chamor. Don't use a chamor that every day, that's called a ravtsan. A ravtsan is somebody, it's a constant, it's a hemshech. He's always falling. Don't bring a roivitz. Don't bring a ravtsan over here and then expect me to help them up. If he's a ravtsan, I don't have to help. If he's a roivitz, he fell one time, then I have to help him up. That's like the Gisai, that's what the Gemara says. So this is the pshat first of all in the Gemara. What the Gemara means is that you can't be a Talmud Chacham. You won't find the Talmud Chacham, you won't find the person if he's a Sachran, loy by Sachronim. Lashon of the Gemara is, you're not going to, Lashon of the Gemara says Sachronim. The Gemara doesn't say Seichrim. If you have a person, he has to make a parnasa, and he's, his life is tiring. He has to make a parnasa. He comes home, he learns whenever he gets a chance. He's a Chayyadam Vikir. He's a Seicher. He also has to, but then there's a Sachran. A Sachran, a Ravtsan. It's something, it's continuous. It's something that's a hemshech. It's not somebody that just happens to work. If he goes to sleep, he dreams about making money. He wakes up, he thinks about money. How can I make money? When he's learning, he's thinking about money. When he's eating, when he's sleeping, when everything he's doing, he's a Sachran. He's trying to make more money. Then you're not going to find Torah by such a person. The Brisker Rav, the Rav used to say, a Lamdin is there was learned. A Masmid is a Lamdan. He's someone that's always learning, Lamdan. Ravtsan, Sachran, right? We say the Rajina used to say in the Yom Kippur davening, Ki ata, what's the lashon that we say at the end of davening? Who mochalon, v'salchan, not that he's moichel, v'saleach. He's not just being moichel me now, it's leach. The Rebbeinu Shalom's constant mitzias, he's a machlon, he's a sachlon. So he's a ravtsan and a machlon and a sachlon and a sachron. It's a continuous. It's up to Rebbe Miboi, hush, right? He says, the pshat, that's the pshat. Nisan. Not like you thought. It's not that there was a nace. There wasn't a nace or nisim that happened to be. It's Nisan, Ravtsan, Sachron, constant nisim. Those that are moiser nefesh and do the avodah and Chag Pesach. The way they're supposed to do the avodah, so that they are zoichet to Nisan. Because it's a constant hemsheichus all the years. That's why the Nisan Mira Nigel and Alavai Bez Hashem Yisbarach, the Nisan Yigalu B'Karim B'Yameinu B'Mher B'Yameinu Amen. Okay, we're all going to get together, right? Huh? Chasal Sida Pesach El Chasal Oh, Rabbi Isai, I forgot to say. Oh, thank you. Rabbi Isai, I forgot to say, we're going to have the Israelis call it a mifsa. I forgot how you say it in English. What? Mifsa. Whoever, an incentive, thank you. Whoever chazers, something from the koilel, probably muksim stuff, right? Or, this year probably will take a whole month to chazer also. But, Bishul 2, whoever chazers, an hour a day, you can chazer from Shin Ches, Shin Tes, Shin Yud, Shin Yud Aleph, Shin Yud Beis, right? It's 5 simanim, right? You chazer the whole thing. Whoever chazers, an hour a day, if he takes the initiative, takes the Kabbalah, he's going to chazer an hour a day. We'll give 200 shekel at the beginning, 200 shekel at the end. Good? Chazer an hour a day, something of muksa. Whoever takes, whoever says he wants to make a commitment, 200 shekel at the beginning, And then at the end, 200 shekel. Good, good, fair. Hour a day. By the way, you're supposed to learn more than an hour a day. That's, it's a mitzvah kailah.
Everybody should take home the svarim.
Everyone should take home their svarim. Right? And Hashem, take a look for the emails. It could be there'll be, a shiur here and there. It could be that, maybe